some pancakes. Scratch pancakes. It's not by a mix. We have our ingredients here. We're going to start off by mixing our liquid ingredient, and we're going to add our flour into it. In this bowl here has the bacon, the flour, the baking soda, the baking powder, and salt. And then there's the sugar or oil, apple cider vinegar, eggs, milk with our extracts in it already. You can use the best of vanilla, or you can use the cheapest. In this, it really won't make a difference unless you're putting that good vanilla into your syrup or in making it from scratch. There is where you would taste the difference in vanilla. But when you're making it in here, using the basic vanilla will do as well as using the more expensive lines of vanilla. It's not going to really change it. It will change the taste when you put it in maybe a syrup, and you can add the vanilla beans or the vanilla bean paste or something into the syrup. So that's what I found to be true, and that's what I've done. I just use regular vanilla. That's what's in the milk. That's why the milk is a little bit on the vanilla looking side instead of stark white like milk. Okay. So let's go ahead and start this here. So my milk with my 2 1/4 cups of milk in there. I'm gonna add to this my sugar, the 1/4 cup. If you add more sugar to your taste and your like, remember your pancakes will brown up faster, so therefore you're always going to be fighting the heat in the rise. So now I'm going to add my eggs, and this depends on your flour, how old it is, and how much humidity is in your kitchen. Your flour, you may need to add extra milk to your mixture, because if you don't want your pancakes thick. All right, I'm going to add my oil. And lastly, my apple cider vinegar. Again, if you want buttermilk pancakes, change that milk from regular milk to buttermilk. All right, and that's how, in essence, what the apple cider vinegar is doing, it is making a sour milk. All right, and here is the rest of our dry ingredients. Again, you don't want to over whip this, mix it, over stir it. Don't beat it into a pulp. It'll make it a hard pancake. You don't know, everyone wants fluffy, light, fluffy pancakes. Okay. Okay, at this point, because of my flour, I see I'm going to have to add some extra milk. So I went ahead and went back and added another entire cup of milk to make my pancakes a little bit more pliable and not so biscuity. Some people may like that, but I will recommend adding another cup to half a cup. And this is how it's supposed to look. So that brings it to a little bit lighter weight. I have a pancake going here. And what I do is I take my pan, and I have a non-skid flat grill, and I do not pour oil on my pan at all, or on my griddle. I have it here with it paper towel folded with oil on it, and then I rub down the non-stick griddle with oil that had to go down in that valley. And then I rub it down with oil, not where it's beads of oil everywhere. So it's a light coating over it. And normally I have my griddle in opposite direction. All right, second pancake here. All right, so there's a hot spot over this way and a lighter cooking area. So there's some deviations in the heating element. I do not mash my pancakes down. If you want light and airy, fluffy pancakes, do not mash them down. You're taking out the very thing that you want in them, fluffy air. So you want the air to stay in them, do not mash them. Once you see the bubbles in them, bubbles means that it is cooking and it is creating air from and air pockets from the baking soda and the baking powder that we put in there. So it's having a chemical reaction to have air and air pockets, making a light and fluffy pancake. So here we have here completed. I'm gonna put it on my buttered plates, and I'm gonna take my butter. I always have butter here waiting on me. And I lather that in butter. So that and I'm ready to go for the next go around. And I layer that in butter and I put them on top of each other so that they can stay warm. Right? So again, oil, have a little oil on my saucer. Take it, bathe that non-stick griddle down, and I'm gonna stay away from that because normally it's reversed, so I'm kind of working upside down. I'm going into some valleys here that I shouldn't go into. Get it going. When you see the formation of the bubbles, a lot of bubbles means that the other side is nice and golden the way you want. Now, you see the bubbles starting to form. So this is not a time to flip anything. If you want your pancakes a little bit thicker, reduce the amount of milk. So if I add a cup of milk, I would maybe add a 3/4 cup of milk instead of a whole cup of milk. All right, so we have good bubble formation. It's just about ready to do its thing. At this point, you would add any bacon or any sausage crumbles. If you want to add blueberry, or if you wanted to add chips at this point, this is the point I would do it. If you put them in before then, the chocolate chips will fall to the side, this part of the griddle, and would burn and melt too fast. This is the time where you see the bubble formation that you would add any of your chocolate chips or blueberries, strawberries, bananas, bacon. All it will do if you do it beforehand is fall to the bottom and burn on your non-stick griddle. And at this point, instead of putting the butter on it from down there, I can actually do what I normally do is layer the butter here. But I better be careful because I just smashed that. So as you saw, that deflated a lot. You need to be careful to do it right when it's done. There we go. So that one didn't deflate. All right. Excuse me. This knife in my hand. Right, let's do the next layer. Again, I come back, and I don't have my little cup normally because that's where my little tray goes, and I'll push that right down into that little hole where my reservoir is. Don't go to the dark side. Stay in the light. Alright, and that's it for the pancakes. If you'd like to add more sugar to yours, I added just enough to make it not doughy, but I would say another 1/4 cup. So that would make it a 1/2 cup of sugar. But again, you don't want it to brown too much, too quickly, too fast, because the browner it fast, the more undone this will be when you flip it, and the longer it would take for your griddle to make it a nice golden brown. So the more sugar you want it to just sweeten, because again, you're gonna have syrup or maybe or some fruit or other things. So you want it to just sweeten enough. Okay, here. And these do hold up until the next day or so. If you wanted to make them a big batch and layer it with plastic or parchment paper, not plastic, but parchment paper or wax paper, you can make a big batch and layer those pieces of parchment or wax paper in between, put them in a Ziploc bag, and have them as you go for the work week. Right, and that one's definitely ready. As you can see, it's starting to dry out. And so again, I wouldn't butter this one yet because as you see, it's having that reaction where it's a little bit higher and it's high. This is more, it's cooked more, so its reaction time is over with. It's not adding any more air and it's not creating any more air pockets. Right? And this is how that would look on the flip side. Alright, this is the next one. Let me see if you're ready. Yep, you're ready. Okay. Lay it down on that side. It's already buttered. Same thing with this one. It's ready. If you want to butter yours while they're over here, by all means, that's normally what I do. I try to butter it over there on that side. Alright guys, that's the end of this here. That's the end of that presentation. Thank you for watching. And I hope this makes many memories with you and your family. That you can buy this and have a big batch of this made up. Or you can just buy your flour and your ingredients and you don't have to pay for the expense of making something in a box. Have an amazing one. See you next time. To come back and show you how fluffy they are in the inside. So That's what the rise did. If you want yours a little bit thicker, you can back up off the milk. All right, and then they'll be a little bit thicker. You're still looking for the same bubbles. You're still not mashing pancakes. Have a great one.